Good morning. What brings you in today?
Um, well, lately I've been thinking about my career choices. I'm currently in school, um, for counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Good career. I'm a fan.
yeah, but at the same time I'm having second thoughts because it's going to take me such a long time to finish this, and am I really going to be working in that profession later on? So I'm kind of concerned that
Mm-hmm.
I am going down this road and I'm not certain of the outcome.
So you're kind of concerned that I'm gonna I'm gonna start a new career and I may not be working towards a full-time
Yes,
full career.
what if I'm wasting my time and energy, and then I might not end up doing something with it because that happened before.
Okay. How'd that go?
Well, I think it all goes back to my very first job that I ever had. I think I was maybe 17 or so, and it didn't go too well. I had a job at the prestigious law firm as a clerk, like an apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
And my family was really like delighted because it had some sort of status.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for a week and I ended up crying. And I think that really affected my whole career, all these years, my choices and everything else. Because this first experience was kind of negative.
Just a negative. So now everything you did was like, I'm not sure about it, made you apprehensive.
Yeah, I've had plenty of jobs where I would just, if I didn't like something, I would quit, which didn't help me in the long run. And well, then I was working in different doctor's offices. That went much better.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not have a lengthy resume like other people do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of wondering why that is. That's why I'm here.
So you're not sure about the length of your resume?
I don't have a career that spans 20 years. I feel I'm missing huge chunks, but that's also due to, marrying somebody that was in the military and then having children and being a stay-at-home mom. So, career-wise, I have not been very successful, even though I think I'm intelligent, but I don't really have anything to show for it.
You feel like you haven't been able to cement a career, something that you can look back on and say, this is what I did.
Yes. I'm not one of those people that has been in the same job for 20 years and then gets a good retirement.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of concerning to me. So I'm wondering if that's like a personality kind of thing, or it's just something that happened over the course of the years.
Sometimes people don't find those careers until later. I don't think that's inherently concerning. What do you think about it? Where do you think you want to go from here? What are your goals?
I may go into teaching. I'm in the process of, well, actually, I did all the tests and everything else, and I even applied. So now I'm just waiting to see what comes of it, if anything. But I'm also a little fearful. Like, I don't know if I'm competent or if I can really teach children or teenagers. So it's a learning process for me as well.
For sure. I was a teacher for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the profession.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any student teaching or volunteering?
No, I did an alternative certification, so you just do some observation hours and that's about it. And then you just apply for jobs because now I guess you're qualified and you go from there. But everybody that I spoke to just always tells me, no, don't do it. You don't want to do that. You don't want these problems, and the children don't listen, and it's stressful, and a lot of it's a huge workload, and that kind of scares me, you know. But I'm kind of determined this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And if it doesn't happen this year, I might just back away from the whole idea.
And you tend to do that a lot, right? You start careers and then you're like, I'm not going to do that. Do you do that a lot?
In the past, I did. I have literally been hired and then I left during the lunch break. And they do that.
Well, I mean, that may not reflect on you. Maybe it just wasn't a
Of
good
course,
fit for you.
this is not something that I
Yeah.
could put on the resume because I cannot say, yeah, I was hired here, but I didn't like it, so I thought it was not for me, so I left. So then I have huge gaps in there.
So what do you
Maybe
do
I'm not a
currently?
disciplined person.
Maybe, I don't know. Is that what you think?
I know I'm not. Like, I've had memberships for the gym before and I paid for it and then I never went. Wasted all my money. But and before I didn't have a membership, I would go to the gym, you know, with a guest pass and things like that, and I was really like, I'm gonna do this now and live healthy. And as soon as I had the membership, I found all kinds of excuses. I didn't have time, or I didn't want to go, or it was too cold, or I just didn't feel up for it and so I guess it's hard for me to be interested in something. Interest and determination, they don't always go together with me, you know?
Do you feel like whenever you have these commitments, either a job or something like the gym, that it causes you stress? Does that stress you out?
Yes. Yes, because commitment may be difficult for me. Feeling tied down or forced to do something, you know, just like having a position. If I don't thoroughly enjoy it, then I feel pressured and not free. Yeah, it's the truth. I like to do whatever I want, whenever I want it. Why is that?
You like options, and you don't like
Yeah.
the idea of something just constricting you
Yes,
into a bubble.
yes. Yeah. It's not very productive.
Well, someone like me says productivity is subjective. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I have friends. I have this one friend, she's married and she's been working nonstop and then I look at her and I'm thinking, wow, why can't I be like that? Is it really just because, you know, because of getting married and moving around every 3 years you would change the duty station, or it was my upbringing because I felt like I needed to be with my children and raise them, because the Germans, they stay at home with their children at least until they're 3 years old because of the early childhood years. It's not like that where I come from. If you have a baby, you raise that baby. They don't really have daycare there. So I think it's also a cultural thing. So every little bit added to it, and now I'm kind of like feeling insecure with my career choices. I feel I should be up here somewhere, and I kind of missed a lot of steps in between. So.
And that idea that I need to be here and I'm not there.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I should be successful, established career-wise, and I don't think that I am.
silence. You okay?
Yeah, yeah. Talking about that makes me kind of think about it. Yeah. And wonder.
So right now your career goals are to be a teacher?
85%.
So, pretty good. I was a teacher for a little bit. I enjoyed it. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I'm just kind of taken aback by these different people that I spoke to, and not one of them had a good reaction. Like, yes, this is a great job that you can enjoy, and you teach the next generation, and it's such an important position that you can have because you can kind of like convey information to these kids, and then you see them grow. That's kind of the thing that I want to hear, but I always hear like negative, negative things.
that makes it hard for you.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's kind of shocking. I'm like, okay, is this the right way to go? And then people that I speak to about it, they of course they tell me, well, everybody has to make their own experiences and maybe just go for it and see how it goes, and maybe you'll like it. But I'm apprehensive, so I feel I need some counseling, career counseling, to lead me into the right direction.
So you feel like our counseling session can help you either choose a career or confirm that that's the kind of career that you're looking for.
Yeah, and I need to kind of know why I'm making the choices that I'm making, and if there's a better way to go about things.
If you want to do that, we can do some assessments and kind of figure out what your proclivities are and what you have potential for. We can do that. It's okay.
My timer is on pause.
Well, then I guess we're probably going to have to resume this.
Do 15 minutes or something. 15,
Sure.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea if I could take an assessment, even though I feel like at this point in my life I should be already knowing what I'm doing.
It's a common feeling.
Yeah.
You know, when we get to a certain stage in our life, we start questioning what have we done and where we should be at versus where we're at. It's a common concern.
Well, what I wish I could do is travel whenever I feel like it. But I guess that's
Very, very free spirit.
Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, when I talk to you about that with the gym membership, for example, I'm thinking, wow, why is that? I think I do have a tendency to, I don't know, yeah, if I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to be in that situation anymore. And then I can put a lot of energy into changing that instead of like sticking it out.
You don't think that sticking out's necessary?
I kind of do. Because I'm taking the shortcut. And I should be not, making rash decisions. I shouldn't do that. I should really put more time and effort into things, into my decisions, instead of like calling it quits as soon as I feel like, oh.
So it sounds like you think that rationally you should stick it out, but emotionally, mentally, you're like, I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
You don't want to be in that bubble.
Yeah, and I always go with my emotions. Mentally I definitely know this is right and wrong, but depending on how I feel, that's how I decide. No matter if it has a good or bad consequence.
And do you think that you have trouble with this on a pretty consistent basis? Does this happen often? How about outside of work?
Outside of work. With friendships, I tend to be a really good friend. Long term. I remember that my girlfriends, they had relationships, and when they ended, it was really over. There was no more contact and nothing. And I was always the one that years later still was in touch with these people. Sometimes I'm thinking that's pretty unusual. Why do you not, it's over? Why do you not cut contact? Why do you keep in touch? Or is it a positive thing to have these long-term friendships? At the same time, I did have a group of female friends. Well, not a group, let me correct that. Different friends. They didn't know each other for years and years and years. And then it just so happened that they met each other through me.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of supported that. I thought it was nice. And we started hanging out as a group. Did different things, met every week, went here, went there. And then I kind of noticed that they befriended each other. They hung out without me. And it made me feel uncomfortable. So eventually, I felt really uncomfortable. I would continue to meet with them. It seemed like the whole relationship between us had shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I left these meetings that were fun, they were fun. But I noticed I felt bad when I drove home. I felt uncomfortable. I felt kind of angry. I felt like I can't trust them anymore.
You brought them together, and now they're kind of. It felt like
They
were kind of
betrayed me.
betrayed. Okay.
I felt betrayed.
Okay.
Not in the beginning, but I kind of like, as time went on, I always had this bad feeling. So, yes, I cut them all off.
You cut them off because you felt betrayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did any of them question this?
One of them.
Ask, why are you doing this, or how, or...
She said she sent me a message, and she said she feels sad that our friendship ended this way, and I just said, yeah, me too. But I think fundamentally, I trusted these people. I told them my secrets. I felt that I couldn't do it anymore because there was stuff going on where there was other people involved, and I hadn't even been invited to these people's home, but she had one of these friends that befriended each other, and I didn't know anything about it, so I felt like there was a lot of stuff going on behind my back.
They're kind of cutting you out.
They did.
And you brought them together.
They did. And I admired and trusted these people, so I really felt, betrayed.
Betrayed.
Yeah.
Betray's the word.
Yeah.
You keep coming back to that.
Yeah. And now I still see them on social media, how much fun they're having, and they're doing something every single day. And
They're not messaging you.
no, I had blocked them.
So how did the cutting off of your friends go? Did you message them and be like, I feel like like you guys have betrayed me. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Or...
Well, I remember one incident where we went to a restaurant and I was there, another lady was there, one of these two was there, and number four came. Now, mind you, these people had nobody other than me in these years prior. One had to go through a divorce. I was there for her. The other one has marital problems. I was there for her. And this particular thing, and maybe it's because I was an only child that gets all the attention. But I'm also really sociable, and like I said, I was like, no, this is nice. We can all be friends until it shifted.
Right.
The whole entire scenario shifted, and I just hated everything about it. So here comes number four. We three are sitting here at the table, and instead of greeting me, she's all over number one. Hi, sweetie, this and that. And I'm watching that, and I'm like, what's going on here? You know, I thought I was your best friend. I was your best friend. Here you coming, and you greeting her like she is your best friend all of a sudden. This whole picture was just kind of like weird to me, but I guess I'm an emotional person, so the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, the heck? You know, why? What's happening here? I'm like the fifth wheel now. Okay. I got so upset, I decided, oh, you know what? I'm having a headache. I'm leaving. I left. Instead of being like, I don't know, being upset and or staying there and having a good time, I was like, you know, I'm leaving. I'm going home.
So you did you confront your friends with your
No,
concerns, or
no.
you just decided I'm not gonna?
It went on. It was a really process. It was a process that went on maybe like 2 years or so, or maybe a little less. And then we went out once again, and then they decided, okay, we're going home now. We had a certain meeting spot, which was mine and my friends. We would always meet at the same spot, same cafe. Couple hours, and we would go our separate ways. Now number two comes along and decides they are going to sit there all night. She's running the show now. So this time, all of a sudden they say, oh, we're leaving now. So I'm deciding, okay, we're leaving. Then we go to the store up this street, and I'm going to the store. I see number one in the parking lot. I thought you were going home. So I got out of my car, she's waiting for me. We're going in, I see number three in the store. So I'm saying, oh, when did you guys make that up to go to the store? We did not. We didn't have no plans. This is turning into a whole nother conversation now.
That's okay. We can talk about
Yeah.
what you want to talk
So,
about.
she's upset with me because I'm saying, when did you two make these plans that the other two that were at the meeting, earlier that day, just before we decided we were going home, she's mad that I'm insinuating that these two had made plans and the other two were not supposed to know about it. So I guess she kind of got upset with me for being complicated.
Is that the word you use? Complicated?
Being jealous.
Difficult?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and at that point, and then she sent me a message like, and we had some words back and forth, and I just never replied to her again. And then I was still meeting number one, but I had these angry feelings. I mean, I love them as friends, but I feel that the trust was gone.
Betrayed.
Yeah. It was uncomfortable. I felt like I didn't want to tell her anything about what's going on in my life. So one day we were going to meet, and I just decided, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to meet. And she said, "Oh, why?" And then I just stopped conversing with them, all of them. So it was unusual for me, even though I know this is what happens. You can even have a male friend that takes your wife, you know, or cheats on you with your wife behind your back. And you have to deal with these things. Or you have a best buddy and he decides he's going to become a best buddy with somebody else. Why being so uptight about it? I don't know. But maybe there's a similarity between the job situation. When I'm uncomfortable, I leave.
Is that what happens when you go for a job? Like something happens where it becomes uncomfortable, or you don't like an aspect of the job?
Yeah.
How often do you usually keep a job?
Well, I kept my last job for a couple of years, even though I felt like the position that I did have was like, I could have done so much more. But I kept it. I showed up all the time. So I'm on the way to improvement.
Making progress.
Yes, I am. Finally, I can be disciplined. Even though there may be situations where I'm like, oh, I didn't like that, or this was weird, and all this fakeness that's going on. You know, I always call it the friendly fakeness. How was the weather? Oh, it's so cloudy today. And it's not real. I like real connection in the workplace. It's always like superficial. Play it safe.
Just be not real with people and fake it so you
I can't. Yeah, I like to be myself. If I cannot be myself, I feel uncomfortable.
And that drives you away to some of your jobs.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the work situation, it's really taking a lot of your time. I think we have 14 minutes, so we should be good to go. Does it say how long you recorded?
27:49. We got a couple more minutes. So anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, I am, as we all are, still a work in progress. I wish I could be already where I want to be certain about my decisions. I guess there's always an aspect of the unknown. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's tough when we ask ourselves these kinds of questions.
Yeah.
Were you kind of uncomfortable when you were talking about the situation with your friends? I saw you tightening your coat. And
it was a really painful thing to go through. Painful. These people were my family, away from my real family, and I don't think I've experienced anything like that before. At the same time, I was questioning myself even then. Why am I being such a baby? Why don't I seek communication? Everything can be fixed if those are your real friends, but damage was done. And I don't know, it really kind of affected me, you know, because I'm usually happy-go-lucky and I do stuff for you if you're my friend. Just don't betray me. And I cannot get over that. I can't, you know.
do you mind if I ask you what made you leave your first job?
My very first job?
I think you mentioned a law firm.
That was really a key experience. I was there, well, it started off bad because I had injured my cornea the same morning, my first day there. by accident with my fingernail. So
Okay.
I had to go to the emergency doctor that night, and I still remember that to that day. So my eye is kind of hurting, and I go in there for the first day, and I'm there for a week, and then I'm supposed to drop the mail off, go in opposite direction from where I would take the bus to go home. They have a great public transportation system over there. So I do that on that Friday, the end of the first week. My friend is outside waiting for me. So we walk together to go up there to the train station to drop the mail off.
Okay.
While we are walking, we are straight going there, nothing else. We didn't stop. I see one of the secretaries behind me. And I think, well, maybe it was a Thursday. And then on that Friday, the lawyer calls me into his office with his main secretary and says he saw me walking and like doing nonsense and not going straight to the train station to drop the mail off. And the whole time I'm thinking, I know that wasn't you. I know the secretary was behind us and she told you that. And I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know the exact details anymore, but I know I ended up crying. And I felt embarrassed. I was a young girl, still impressionable. And he was going on and on. I guess he was mad, but I couldn't believe that he would try to make it seem like it was him that saw me and I did something wrong, which was completely wrong. This woman, I guess, didn't like me, and she decided to tell on me that I did something wrong, which was incorrect. When we were done, I went back up front where all these secretaries were, or legal assistants, and then they decided to give me money to go to the store to buy them something for the house, their home, like a onion pot or something. And I'm still full of tears, but they didn't care. So I went there another 3 weeks, and then I told my mom, I'm done, I'm not going there anymore. And she was upset, clearly, but I guess that really was like a key experience.
that bad beginning.
We are still recording!
I think we're up.